So what's up, Ten Hut? It is the Ten Hut Show with a side of whiskey, and we are really
Cheers.
excited about today's show. I don't have whiskey with me, so yeah. So Dr. Will is drinking for us, all three of us, right? And Jose is actually out of commission today, but he'll be joining us again next week. So
Yeah.
I just want to say for those guys, for all you guys that have been subscribing to the channel, thank you so much. Just keep liking, sharing our videos. If you have any questions on how to share it, you can share it through YouTube or you can share it through Facebook itself, and you're part of the group. So we definitely thank you so much. And there's more things coming up. The more viewership and the more subscribers we have, the more that we can do to provide to give back to the veteran community. So there's more things coming up. So thank you so much again. So I'm gonna pass it over to Dr. Will because this is he's been talking about this for so long, 3 to 4 months ago. And then Jose started talking about it too, and I was like, all right, what's this about?
So Jose, by the way, Jose was the one that brought it up, and I looked into it and finally was able to get a hold of somebody out at the Waves Project. But I want to introduce Steve Rubin here. That he's the CEO. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, CEO of a nonprofit organization that, like this month that we've been talking about wellness, they've really gone out of their way to be able to take care of veterans and get them out and about and out and from being socially isolated. But Steve, let me pass it on to you so you can introduce yourself better. I think I'm butchering it up here for you.
No, you did just fine. Yeah, my name is Steve Rubin, and I'm the founder and the president of the Waves project. And what WAVE stands for is an acronym that stands for Wounded American Veterans Experience SCUBA. So we use the platform of scuba diving and a therapeutic hours of water to help our veterans rehabilitate.
Nice.
And isolate. That's what the key word what you just said on isolate.
Yeah. So social isolation is a big issue. We've discussed it this month a lot. Making sure that veterans are taking care of themselves and getting out there, not being home alone, thinking about the dark thing, especially with the stuff that's going on right now, pulling out of certain countries. But I wanted to go through your program. It is a lengthy program, so I'm going to share my screen so that we can kind of discuss some of the functions that are happening within your organization. Yeah. Second here to pull up my screen.
So while Dr. Will is doing that, I believe that Will, I thought you was gonna call him Steve Rogers, and I thought he was gonna say that, bro. I was like, oh, Captain America here, like
got Captain America. No. Yeah. So I was going through this because myself, I'm very interested. I was a rescue diver in the military, so I've had some experience, but it's gotten very expensive now to become a diver. And I was going through your program and just getting started here. It shows different levels. What is that about?
All right. So, when we first started back in 2013, the name kind of provided what we did. And it was Wounded American Veterans Experience SCUBA. And when we first started, that's what it was. We were just given the opportunity to kind of share our passion with veterans, to get them in the water, because we realized there's healing properties underwater, and I can get more into that a little bit later on. But since our inception, we have grown quite a bit, and we have gotten to the opportunity to where there are 4 levels of training for every veteran that comes in, as long as they enjoy the diving. So level 1 is an introduction to diving that covers 2 different courses, what we call a tri-scuba, to discover what scuba diving is all about. That is in a pool where we put the gear on and we get them in the pool, get them underwater, breathing on a tank and seeing if it's something that they enjoy. If that's the case, then what we do is we offer them an open water course. Now, the open water course is the entry level scuba diving certificate.
Yeah.
We spend another 12 to 15 hours in the pool,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go out and we do 4 ocean dives, and they get a full certification that's good for the rest of their life. After that, now if somebody comes in and they like what uh, how they feel after they get out of the water, if they like the organization, if they like what they see, if they want to hang around, if they like scuba diving, and they want to continue to dive, then we will continue to train them.
Yeah.
And level 2 gets into what we call our continuing ed program, which
Mm-hmm.
we offer 2 different specialties. Specialties are really now where we drill in to a different aspect of diving, and we start to build on that. That's kind of like an advanced course.
Mm-hmm.
And then level 3 drills down into 2 more specialties. Level 5 gets them into what we call as a master diver. Master diver is somebody that has earned 5 specialties and
Mm-hmm.
has logged 50 dives. So now you're a well-rounded diver.
Yeah.
Then you probably notice on the website that we do have a
Yeah.
professional level.
Yeah.
And we get this quite often, is that guys and gals will come through the program. They really enjoy it. They really like the training. They like the camaraderie, and they like giving back. So they want to serve and they want to give back to their fellow veterans. If that's
Nice.
the case, then what we do is that we can train them all the way to instructor from that point on. So there's 3 different levels on the pro side that we concentrate on, and that is a dive master, like a
Yeah.
safety diver in the water, an assistant instructor, and an instructor.
Nice. Nice. So you can get a veteran from not knowing anything related to scuba and train them all the way to, if they would like to help out other veterans in that way in your organization. That is
Absolutely. And
that
like
is
I was talking to Pedro before the show,
yeah.
he's in Texas now, and the
Yeah.
gentleman that is in Texas now training for us, he actually went through our program in 2014, 15. Uh, uh, then his family moved to Texas, and he then started to train in Texas. So now we're in our 3rd year of training in Texas. So
Yeah.
that's exactly how it works.
So, by the way, Pedro's been having some technical issues even before the show, before we started. He might come back. If not, we'll just continue with the show for all our viewers. I apologize about his technical issues he's got over there in Texas. But you were talking about properties, a little bit
Mhm.
earlier, and we were talking about different ways of coping, right? Not only just that therapy stuff that they, repeat what you did and write it down, and that's the type of therapy we go to the VA for. But you were talking about some properties of being in the water. What properties are those? What what are those called, or what? I mean, if I didn't know any better.
Yeah, when we first started, we didn't really realize all the benefits actually. And when we first started, it was for wounded veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get somebody in the water
Yeah.
and they get neutral buoyant like a
Yeah.
fish, there's no gravity.
Float.
All right, so that disabled diver, like an amputee or paraplegic or paraplegia, or even somebody that's suffering from back issues, leg
Yeah.
issues. Once they get into water, there's no more gravity, so they're
Yeah.
they're they're just as able as their able-bodied diver that is not suffering from any physical pains. But um, around 2014, 15, we actually became aware of a study that was done by Johns Hopkins, and there were 2 doctors, Kennedy and Kaplan, that actually
Mm-hmm.
took 19-wheel vets. They were neurologists, and they took 19-wheel vets down to the Cayman Islands and
Wow.
kind of do the same thing, that we were doing. They realized that once somebody got into the water, then there was no more disability. Somebody could be just as capable as an able-bodied diver. And what they were looking for was better muscle spasticity, different body functions improving. And when Dr. Kaplan actually wrote his paper on the study,
Yeah.
he made a statement in there and said, what I find miraculous is that 100% of the veterans that participated in the program showed up to an 80% reduction in post-traumatic stress symptoms for up to
Wow.
6 weeks after diving. And you know what? That kind of opened our eyes, and we started to look at that.
Yeah.
We've conducted several studies ourselves regarding this. The jury's still out what really happens underwater, but there's partial pressure. Water has weight,
Yeah. Yeah.
and also, um, and I don't want to get too scientific here, but when you're underwater, you're breathing more percentage of oxygen than you are on the surface. All right.
Yes.
So even out of a normal tank of air, you're breathing more oxygen molecules for every breath of air you take. There's other things that are going on. You can imagine if you put a scuba mask on, you're focused. All right. There's
Yeah.
no outside distractions. There's no
Yeah.
cell phones.
No.
There's no computers. There's no telephones. Nobody's really talking at you. You could
Yeah.
be in the water with 15 different people and you're really still alone
In
your
your
head,
own mind. Yeah.
right? And it really actually calms you down. Once you get past that point of getting underwater and seeing that, oh, this is really cool, looking at the neat fish and everything, it actually reduces the anxiety.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we've done a couple studies on ourselves, and we've come up with the exact same results. So we've
Yeah.
done studies with Stanford University out of Irvine,
Yeah.
occupational therapy group, and then we've also done the same with Loma Linda University in conjunction with
Nice.
VA. So,
Wow.
it's just when people first hear about what we do, they think, "Oh man, that's fun. You guys are just going out and having a lot of fun." Well,
Yeah.
that's really not all that's happening. Yes,
Yeah.
everybody's going out and having fun, but there's things that are happening once we're underwater, once you're dealing with the partial pressures of underwater, that actually relaxes and has a temporary
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah. It's very different now how we look at different solutions of feeling comfort, you know. And the way I explain diving, I've gone through so many surgeries. It's very hard for me to get out in the water. The hardest part, like you said, is getting in the water because equipment is not light, right? Plus, you got to add weight so you can drop down a little bit. But once you get in the water, it's almost, if you think about it, like a giant blanket that wraps around your body and like hugs you, one, and then lets you be free to roam around like in a different world. That's the best way I could describe when I'm out there diving. But it definitely improves the way that you think. And when you get out of the water, sometimes when it's really choppy, it can be very difficult, especially with certain injuries. But you feel very energetic, like your body just got this big jolt of juice, like excited and happy of what happened, the experience. I don't know if you got other veterans that have told you something similar like that.
Well, no, I think you kind of, when you said the blanket, it's kind of like, you're absolutely right. With the water pressure, it's kind of like a swaddling cloth, that you put
Yeah,
around an infant
yeah,
to help them calm down. It has that same effect. And when you're diving with buddies and friends, now you have things to share. You have it doesn't just stop when you get out of the water. All right. So the chatter goes on about what you saw,
yeah,
the cool experience that you had,
yeah,
and what are we going to do this next? All right.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, and we put a lot of people through, and it's not
hmm,
for everybody.
yeah,
So and we're the first ones to say, if this is not something that helps you, find
yeah,
something. if it's horse therapy, or if it's what, out in the desert, hiking, hunting, fishing, you need to find something that grabs your interest, that takes you out of um, that feeling of isolation, that feeling of withdrawal, something to re-stimulate you back into society, back into the world. And we've noticed, we've realized that for a lot of years. And what's happened over the last 18 months, has even proven that, as the world was isolated. And then we saw at the beginning of this year how people just jumped out and started to do anything they could do, once we started to reopen up. And that's exactly what we're doing. So again, SCUBA is the platform.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got to ask you a question. Out of how big are usually your classes when you have a class? Typically,
so we try to keep it around an average of 6 veterans in a class.
Okay.
And we'll have 2 to 3 pros staff.
Okay.
That are with the class.
So one to 2 people.
Yeah, it's at least a 2 to 1 ratio, and it could be even 3 to 1 max ratio.
Okay. And out of those 6 individuals, how many, right when it's about to get to the moment where they're about to either jump off the boat or wherever you first take them, that they're like, I don't know if I really want to do this. How many do you get?
100%.
100%. All right.
So you know what, and we talk about this,
Yeah.
and I always tell people you should be 51% curious and 49% apprehensive, because we don't have gills.
Yeah,
and
we
until
don't.
you get underwater and you start to breathe off that regulator, and you realize, man, this is
Pretty
great.
Cool.
So when we look, especially out here, we look in the ocean,
Yeah.
and it's dark green. As soon as you stick your head under, you can see it.
You can see. Yeah.
So once we get to that point, you could just see the relaxation.
Mhm.
And after that first dive, everybody then back on the boat, the chatter's going, everybody's excited. Everybody's just fired up.
What's your return rate? Like after you teach a class and they say, hey, I want to come back. What would you say?
I would say we're probably about 20-25% continue.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. If you think, if the listeners right now, if you think about that, 1 out of 4 individuals comes back because they enjoy it that much. And that's pretty big, especially scuba diving it's not an easy sport. It's not like you're, going and playing tennis. It requires a lot of effort to get out there and do it. But it's, I mean, for you to get 1 out of 4 coming back, I don't think you get that much out of tennis for somebody that goes out and plays tennis once.
So, and in our program, diving's a buddy sport.
Yeah.
So we train the veteran and a buddy of their choice at no cost. All right. So that is it could be a spouse, it could be a sibling, a friend, somebody they serve with. It really doesn't make any difference. We don't really care. The whole idea is to be able to share this experience with somebody that actually can bring a friend or a family member and get certified, so that they have somebody to continue their diving experience with.
The one that I'm trying to get in, I'm sorry. The one that I've been trying to get is my son, since he's the one that helps me out most of the time with post surgeries. I haven't had this dog bark in a long time, and I don't know why she's doing it now. But he's really helped me out with a lot of post surgery time, and at this time, you know, and I was thinking about this when I was applying. I actually applied for your program. I'm going through the medical process, you know, to send you back all the documents that I need.
Oh,
And I'll talk about it right now. I talked to Todd about it. You know, my son, you know, he's the one that since he was about 9, 10 years old, you know, I started surgery back to back. You know, I had hip surgery, back surgery. I just had neck surgery. I actually missed a couple episodes because of that. But he's been the one that's been helping me out, you know, and whenever it comes to getting things done or getting me around, he's really been there. So I put him in the application. Todd, you know, when I talked to Todd, he said, you know, that's good. That's perfect. You know, get him certified so he can help you out. And I think it just make it easier. He's now of the age, you know, he's just turned 16 actually this week.
Oh, perfect.
Happy birthday to my son. By the way, while I'm on the show. So I looked at your application process, you know, and I'll talk about how simple that is. It really just asks for your information, your personal information. And I can pull it up right here. Let's share it so veterans can see how easy it is to enroll with you. So if you go to the application process, new member, and it literally just asks you to, you can just apply online or you can download the form, but it's very simple. It talks about, you know, your first name, middle name, address, email, birthday, gender. I know this is a topic that some people don't want to talk about, but when it comes to fitting, this is usually the reason that's asked. So please, anybody that feels offended by that.
On the gender?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Because why that's important for us is that if we have female vets coming in, we want to make sure we have female staff to assist.
Yeah. Cell phone, branch of service, last rank you held, dates you served, describe your injuries and disabilities. I mean, and you talked about this earlier, you know, certain disabilities that might make it difficult maybe for somebody to get in the water, but I'm pretty sure you have individuals that are there to help. Dropping your VA rating letter, and you can get that at eBenefits on ebenefits.gov. You can pull up that, just draft up a letter. You just need to see the rating, right?
Yeah, that's what qualifies the veteran for our program.
Yeah. So
and then, you know, the physical, the medical questions are again so that we have the proper staff in the water.
Yeah.
And we have staff that are handicapped SCUBA certified instructors. So we can pretty much work with any disability.
Wow, I didn't know that. What does that entail?
The handicapped SCUBA
versus a master diver. I'm pretty sure it's a master diver with an extra certificate. Is that right?
Yeah. Handicapped SCUBA Association is another certifying agency, and what they specialize in training professionals how to work with and train various different disabilities, all the way from, like I said, paraplegia, amputation, quadriplegia, and a various host of other disabilities.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, I didn't even know that you could be to that degree of disabling scuba. That's impressive. That's very impressive. But the rating letter, just remember, you know, when you populate a rating letter, it tells you what do you want on it. All you're looking for is the rating, right? You're not looking for the amount of pay they're getting or
that would be an award letter. And some people send that, and it doesn't make any difference. It's we're looking at the rating, the percent.
Correct. All right. How did you hear or learn about Waves Project? That's easy. You heard it here on 10 Hut show today. Are you currently certified? So like myself, I put, yes, I'm certified. Then you ask for sizes. Don't lie about your size. You know, if you got a little bit of weight, like some of us that been out for a little while, make sure you put the right size of shirt. Is more for fitting, correct?
The truth will be known. Yes.
When you got that super suit that is sucking you in before you get in the water, don't say they didn't ask you what size you were.
Yeah.
Shoe size be true as well. Out here in California, you have to wear boots or your feet will literally fall off. That's what I always say. The water is cold out here, but the wetsuits do keep you, a little bit warmer. So don't lie about the shoe size. Height, same thing. If you tell your buddies you're a little bit taller than you really are, don't lie about that. Your suit will not fit. And then weight, same thing, right? Be as accurate as possible. Yes, what level certification and agency? You do what, PADI?
We were PADI. We have transitioned over to SSI.
What is SSI? You got me now.
Scuba Schools International.
Really?
Yeah. So Scuba Schools International is about 1 year newer than PADI. So they started back in 1970.
What is the difference?
Nothing. Right? So it's just a certifying agency. PADI, SSI, NAUI, SDI, TDI, they all belong to an international standards organization.
Yeah.
The training requirements are all identical through all the training agencies.
Oh, wow. So, but you can train somebody that's already PADI?
Absolutely.
Into the new level, or is it different?
No, everything is identical.
Okay.
Yeah, so we could train a PADI diver, a NAUI diver. Yep.
All right. Well, I didn't know that. That's new to me. You're saying it's a year old, so.
No.
What would you like to see in the comments?
PADI's a year older than SSI. So PADI was started around 1969. SSI started in 1970. So they've been around for about 50. We're 51 years now for SSI.
Oh, okay. For comments, what are you looking for comments? What would you like to know if a veteran signs up?
A lot of times we will have a previous telephone conversation with somebody. They'll call and they'll talk about something specific. So we always ask them to remind us by putting a comment in about our conversation. So
I did that, but I didn't. I didn't know.
Yeah, if we talk and you told me something and I want to remember that, or we talk about possibly getting you into a certain time of the year for a class, I would say, Dr. Will, when you get the comments, just put that in the comment so that it reminds us of our conversation.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you like something that you heard on the show today, put it in the comments.
There you go.
Say, hey, I like this and I'm very interested. All right, the family members, here's where you were talking about, if you have a buddy, right, that wants to join and help out with that training, put their information. I put my son in here for myself. Whoever your dive buddy is going to be, put their information here. And it's pretty much the same information as above, just for that individual that you're trying to have help you out. Then hit the I'm not a robot, so they know that you're not a robot, and hit submit. Wait for an email. I think you responded within the week, if not less, a couple, maybe a day or two. So you're very responsive and a lot of organizations take forever to respond back to veterans, and the stuff you're doing is really, really helping out a lot of veterans. I greatly appreciate what you got going on here. And I'm sure I can tell you right now, hands down, scuba diving is not cheap. For them to go out there and do this for veterans, for Waves Project to be out there, I'm pretty sure it's costly, but it's definitely a great program that everybody that I've spoken to has told me, and of course everything you gave me today, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And on the cost side, If somebody really gets involved and really likes to do it,
Yeah.
we have programs that will get them gear at discounted levels. So we
Yeah.
have manufacturers that support our veteran community through
Nice.
various programs. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, your gear. I don't think I owned maybe half of my gear. Usually I would rent the rest because it's just really, really expensive to get gear. But maybe it's something that instead of using it at the bar or doing something that you shouldn't be doing, reckless, spend on something like this if you get that involved, right?
Well, yes, and we have various programs that a veteran can get into gear, uh, relatively inexpensive. So, um, we have a 16-foot parcel van that is fully equipped with dive gear.
Mm-hmm.
That if a veteran wants to buy gear that's used off the truck,
Yeah.
we accommodate that. So, and
Nice.
all our gear is in actually really good shape because of that
Yeah.
program. So veterans will
Wow.
buy the gear that they were trained in
Yeah.
at a very discounted rate, and all we do, we sell it to them what it costs us to replace it.
Nice. So, quick question: is there any cost to a veteran at all to
Not for
get
the
into
training. The only thing that we say that is a cost of the veteran would be their consumables. So anything they're going to eat or drink, lunch, if we're out training. Other than that,
Yeah.
the training and all the academics, the gear we provide.
Wow.
So obviously, another cost, and sometimes there's challenges with this.
Yeah.
The other cost would be getting to the ocean or getting to the pool. So their transportation to
Yeah.
and from the training site
Yeah.
and any consumables, that's on them. Everything else that has to do with the training, the gear, and the academics, the books, that they're going to learn from, that is all provided to them and their buddy. And no cost.
Wow. Amazing program. I'm so glad you came on today, and I got a chance to talk to you and really talk about what you're doing out there for veterans, disabled veterans especially, and their family, because that's super important. I greatly appreciate it. Veterans, here's the website again. Make sure you reach out to them. Go on the website. There are tabs. If you saw how I shared, it's very, very easy to explain and easy to navigate. There's nothing difficult about the website. The application process is simple, and just wait for an email back. I want to thank you, Steve. But before you leave, I have a question, and this is a question that Pedro had. Have you ever had an MRE?
Sure.
The meals ready to eat
Yes.
that we get in the military. Did you say you served?
No, I did not.
You did not. All right. What MRE was your favorite? If you had multiple,
I think I had the one. It was like lasagna.
Lasagna.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you use all the Tabasco sauce on it, or?
Absolutely.
Did you like it?
It was okay.
It was okay. All right. Usually with veterans, we ask that question, and usually go like, well, which one did I not like out of all the amazing flavors they have? But yeah, Steve, I want to thank you today for coming on the show. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you and your team. Say hi to Todd. I appreciate that.
Certainly will. Dr. Will, thank you for having us on and allowing us to share about our program.
All right. We're going to end it here. Have a good night, everybody.
You too. Good night.